So the other day at the debate, guys, we saw that J.D. Vance would not answer whether or not Trump lost the 2020 election. And that's a dead giveaway. Look, he was picked for this position because he's the biggest sycophant that there is. He basically said, look, my whole job is to defend you, Trump, and that's what I'm going to do. You know, I will serve you. I will super serve you. That's why he was picked. And so when he's presented with what is a softball question in any other world to any other person, hey, did Trump lose? That's where you go, yeah. He couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. He tried to pivot and obfuscate and attack Tim Walz, and Tim Walz asked him directly again, and he couldn't answer, and he said that's a damning non-answer. So one of the guys from The Good Liars saw J.D. Vance here walking to an event, and he asked him directly, hey, did Trump lose the election? And now perhaps you get a more honest and direct answer from J.D. Vance when he feels like tens of millions of people aren't watching. Here we go.
Who won the 2020 election? We're going to go to town hall. Could you just answer, did Donald Trump win, yes or no?
Yes.
He did win?
Yep.
So will you concede? Will you concede? If your opponent gets more votes, will you concede?
I really feel bad for you, man.
I just want to know, if your opponent gets more votes, will you concede? Parties. Who won the 2020?
One more time. Here we go. You heard it.
We're going to go to town hall.
Could you just answer, did Donald Trump win, yes or no?
Yes.
He did win?
Yep.
So will you concede? Will you concede?
So he says, yeah, he won. And then when asked again, he's like, yep. Now, I'm sure that if he's pressed on it, he'll back away from it. Oh, I was being sarcastic. That's why I said what I said. Okay, well then why didn't you answer directly when you were in front of tens of millions of people in the debate? You didn't answer because you can't answer. You know he lost, but you're in the position where you feel like you have to say he won because that's what the guy at the top of the ticket demands. Guys, we talk a lot about a lot of different policies and a lot of different directions the country can go in. All of it comes to naught if you can't get past this very, very basic thing. If you can't give the correct answer on this, nobody should care about the rest of what you have to say. So I have another example. So this was J.D. Vance saying, yeah, Trump won, right? And then here we have Mike Johnson, head of the Republicans. And he's asked, look at how he turns into Neo from the Matrix when he's asked the same direct question, twists himself into an intellectual pretzel trying to get around this. Here we go. Watch this. This is not a gotcha, but to them it is.
So it's very clear you're not going to condemn the baseless suggestion the Democrats are behind the assassination attempt on Donald Trump. I want to ask you another question.
There's so many. Please, anything.
Well, you have the opportunity to condemn it if you want. You have that opportunity, but we can move on now. I do want to ask you a question that Senator Vance did not answer at this week's debate. Can you say unequivocally that Joe Biden won the 2020 election and Donald Trump lost?
See, this is the game that is always played by mainstream media with leading Republicans.
All you have to do is say yes. All you have to do is say yes. That's it. That's all you have to do. He can do it.
It's a gotcha game. You want us to litigate things that happened 4 years ago when we're talking about the future. We're not going to talk about what happened in 2020. We're going to talk about 2024 and how we're going to solve the problems for the American people.
Yeah, but that's the thing, isn't it? This is a problem for the future. Because if your guy loses, he's going to say he won and he's going to raise hell again. And are you guys all going to line up behind him like little lemmings, or are you going to tell the truth? Are you going to do the right thing? So this is absolutely relevant to the current context, but they pretend like it's not.
This game that's played all the time, I'm not going to engage in it. We're not talking about that. Joe Biden has been the president for almost 4 years. Everybody needs to get over this and move forward. That's what we need to talk about. What happens on November 5 and the days after that. That's what the demand for us to talk about.
So like Senator Vance, you cannot say unequivocally that Joe Biden won the 2020 election and Donald Trump lost?
George, I'm the Speaker of the House. I work with the President of the United States all the time. Joe Biden has been the president for 4 years. There's not a question about this.
Notice the weasel words. Like, Joe Biden has been in office, bro. He's been in office, bro. That wasn't the question. And you know you're dancing around it. Because you know if you tell the truth, you're going to get an angry phone call later in the day. And maybe Trump goes on a truth social crusade against you. And maybe your fundraising dries up. And maybe you get a bunch of angry phone calls to your office. And maybe, you know, it's a real tough time personally for you to tell the truth. That's why you're doing this. They are the biggest cucks on earth.
It's already been done and decided, and this is a gotcha game that's played, and I'm not playing it. I want to talk about the future. Let's talk about policies. Ask me anything you want.
It's only a got you question if you have a got you answer. And you do.
Any challenging issue. Let's put that out there for the American people. That's what they need to hear.
Well, it's President Trump who every single day, former President Trump, at just about every rally is saying that the election was rigged, that he won, and that Joe Biden lost. I'm just saying if you accept that or not.
George, I'm not going to play the game. Ask me any question on any issue that's facing the country. They're some of the biggest issues that we face. How about another hurricane headed toward the country? How about Israel being fired upon by Iran? How about the rising crime rates that have everybody alarmed around this country, and the cost of living because hardworking families can't afford to do it?
They have no idea how weaselly they look. They have no idea. He thinks he's calling out Stephanopoulos for being weaselly. No, you're the weasel. And it has never been more clear. It is so obvious. Oh my God. Guys, understand something. In the 2022 midterms, a lot of people were predicting a red wave. I didn't predict it because there were a lot of factors which you couldn't really account for. One of those factors was 51% of the Republican candidates who were running in the 2022 midterms were election deniers. And guess what? There was a gigantic rejection of those people from the American public. There just was. It was that, and it was the issue of abortion. There was a backlash over those things. And so that's why we are where we are. And here he is. They can't course correct. They can't do it because Trump won't let them. And this is now a total and utter personality cult. And so go ahead, man. Please proceed. Dig your own political graves. I love nothing more than that. All right, y'all. That's the show. You know the drill. Love y'all very much. Everybody, please click like, click subscribe, all that fun stuff. You can support the show on Patreon. And I'll catch you all back here tomorrow. Peace. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.